There are not many days in the football calendar year where football fans look forward to more than the day of the Ballon d'Or ceremony. It's a day where there's always controversy, there's always discussion, there's always predictions going right, there's always predictions going wrong. And there's always, the one thing that always happens every Ballon d'Or, there is always a shock result. Whether it be the winner, whether it be who comes third, who comes fourth. Last year was Rodri beating Vinicius. A few years before, we had Jorginho in the top three. We had a few years even before that, we had Modric winning the Ballon d'Or. There is always questions around who's going to win it. We never really know, unless the result gets leaked by Fabrizio Romano weeks before, which has been the case for a few times now. But anyways, let's just go with my predictions. We still don't know who the winner is. It still hasn't been leaked by anyone. And honestly, it might have been leaked by the time this video comes out. I hope it hasn't. But not only am I going to be predicting today my top 10 players in the past year, I'm also going to be predicting the winner of the Men's Club of the Year. I'm going to be predicting the winner of the Johan Cruyff Trophy for managers, the Kopa Trophy for youngsters, and the Lev Yashin Award for goalkeepers. We're going to save the top 10 till last, the best till last. And that's, let's be honest, what you lot are here for. If you're not interested in all the other awards, you can skip forward to that. But let's get straight into it with the Club of the Year, which is PSG. Now, none of you lot should be shocked by that. I wasn't going to say Chelsea. I wasn't going to say Botafogo, Barcelona. It was always PSG. I think we knew this ever since they got to the Champions League final. They did a historical domestic treble. They won Liga, they won Coupe de France, they won the Trophée des Champions, and then they topped it off with the Champions League. The one missing Infinity Stone was the Club World Cup, which they did get to the final two, but then they got dunked on by my club Chelsea. But anyways, I'm not really in the mood now to be talking about my club after what happened yesterday. So let's focus on PSG. Now, spoiler alert, I'm going to be talking about PSG a lot today. A lot. So I'm not going to go fully into depth into every single performance, into all this and that. And I'm not going to lie to you, I haven't watched them a whole lot outside of the Champions League last season. I didn't watch them a lot in the league, but they swept it, let's be real. And I've got to give full credit to, I'm going to say 3 people, because I'm going to talk about more than 3 people. Luis Enrique, Ousmane Dembele, and Hakimi. Them 3 players for me have absolutely just transformed the club. PSG went from having the best 3 players in the world, arguably, at one point. Messi, Neymar, Mbappe. They had Ibrahimovic a few years back, Cavani, Thiago Silva, but they just couldn't get the job done. They couldn't. They were bringing in big names like Dani Alves, Buffon at the end of their careers, just trying to add the extra experience, the extra talent they needed to get it done. But they couldn't get it done until Luis Enrique came in, said, you know what, let's get rid of the ego. We don't need your Neymars. We don't need your Mbappes. Mbappe can go. He wanted to go years ago. Let's just let him go to Real Madrid and work with what we've got. He turned Dembele into a superstar, potential Ballon d'Or winner. We're going to get to that later. He got talent like Barcola and Doué and transformed them into world-class talent and big game players. That I've got to give so much credit to Luis Enrique for that. And Hakimi, just the general, the captain. He's been there for years now, and he's been there through the highs, the lows, and he's stuck with it. And honestly, it's been his best campaign of his career so far. So he deserves credit. And Dembele, come on, guys. This is not the Dembele we saw at Barca. This is genuinely a complete different Dembele, a transformed Dembele, who's now playing up top and finishing his chances, finishing his dinner, something we never saw him do at Barcelona. And he has won the Champions League. He's the Champions League winner, and he could potentially be a Ballon d'Or winner. So those 3 names, I'm going to just get off the bat. But PSG, my Club of the Year. Now, let's move on. Men's Johan Cruyff Trophy, the manager. Now, this again shouldn't really be a surprise. It's Luis Enrique of PSG. Come on. And am I going to have to list all the other achievements again? No, we know what he's done. The quadruple. Look, you could say PSG, they play in France. They're the only top team in France. But now they're the top team in Europe. They are the best team in Europe. So no matter if they played in the Netherlands, if they played in Portugal, if they played in Armenia, no one can take away the fact that they are the best team in Europe. Even though they might not be the best team in the world. Okay, let me stop with that. They are the best team in the world. Okay? They got to the final of every competition they played in. They won 4 out of the 5 that they were in. And honestly, they were a joy to watch. And I think it's all down to Luis Enrique, or a lot of it is down to Luis Enrique. The system, the midfield, how compact the defense was, the nurturing of young talent. Pacho, like I said, Doué, Barcola, even guys like Mayulu, isn't it Mayulu or Maluyu? I think Mayulu. He scored in the Champions League final as well. This guy has absolutely transformed a team which was once seen as the laughingstock of European football. The big money team who always has room to put players like Ander Herrera, Danilo Pereira, Draxler on hundreds of thousands of pounds a week. But they could just never get the job done. But now they've done so, but humbly. They've done so with talent that they've nurtured and they've signed from their own league. They haven't gone out and bought the best players from the best teams. They brought Dembele, who was out of favour at Barca, who was called one of the biggest flops in the club's history. Let's be honest, that's what he was known as for a long time. He was up there with the Coutinhos and the Griezmanns. They had Doué, who was a relatively unknown kid from Rennes. They bought Barcola, I don't even know from where. He might even be an academy player. I think they bought him from some other French club though. And players like Pacho. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I did not know who William Pacho was before this season. That might be bad of me, but bro, it's a testament to what Enrique's done. He's got casuals like me knowing these players as now and rating them as now some of the best in their position in the world. Full credit has to go to Luis Enrique there. And obviously what he's done with the midfield is insane. What he's done to guys like João Neves, Vitinha, guys, Fabian Ruiz, guys who years ago were seen as good, but like not world-class or near world-class midfielders. Fabian, when he signed for PSG a few years back, was never the most inspirational signing. Vitinha was, at Wolves, a complete outcast, really. And he's made them into European champions. So Luis Enrique, full credit to you. Even though you lost your head at the Club World Cup final, and I'm not going to forgive you for what you did to João Pedro, you disgusting person. But no, you are the best manager in Europe, and he will rightfully win the trophy. Now let's go on to the men's Yashin Trophy. I'm going to give you my top three for my top three goalkeepers. Look, let's be honest, none of you lot are here to hear my goalkeepers and why I've selected them. So let's just make this quick. In number 3, I've got Courtois, simply because, I'm not going to lie to you, I was looking at the shortlist, and I was thinking, there's quite a lot of mid in it. I'm seeing Emiliano Martinez. I'm seeing Yacine Bono, who's playing in Saudi League. I don't know, I wasn't really getting inspired by what I was seeing. But I had to go with Courtois in the end, in the top 3. Honestly, my top 2 was pretty set in stone. I was kind of between Courtois and Alisson for third place. But I've gone with Courtois because he had a pretty awful injury the season before. Let's not underplay it. It was a bad injury in the 23-24 season. And he missed the whole season for Real Madrid. And although Real Madrid didn't really miss him, they won the Champions League. I think they won the league as well, didn't they? They were on it that season. You could still see that there was a big issue and a big hole at the back, which was Courtois. They were having to play Kepa. Kepa wasn't good. They brought in Lunin, who did all right. But Courtois came back into the season, and although Madrid had a pretty big stinker of a year, Courtois was, for me, their best player, or not their best player in terms of performances, but maybe their most consistent, reliable guy. He's always a safe pair of hands, and more than that, bro. He'll make saves that win you games, get you results. We saw it at the Club World Cup as well. He's making some insane saves there. Champions League, making insane saves. And in the league, he conceded, I think, less goals than games played. So I think it was around 29 goals conceded in 30 games or something like that. You could check it. Maybe slightly above, but I think on average, he only conceded about 1 goal, like maybe 1.1, 0.9 goals a game, which is very good in his bounce back year. And at his age, he's not getting any younger. He's like 32, 33 now. So it's good to see him still at that top form. Number 2, I've gone with David Raya. I mean, Arsenal last season obviously didn't win anything, but they got very close to winning quite a lot of things. And I think that was down to the defence. Now, we all talk about Saliba, we talk about Gabriel, but bro, this was David Raya's season. He played all Premier League matches, he kept 13 clean sheets and only conceded 34 goals. That is title-winning form right there. 6 clean sheets in 13 Champions League matches as well. This guy was crucial to Arsenal's season. Honestly, like I could go on about some of his performances, but it will be too long. All I'm going to say is, you don't remember that double save against Inter Milan, the penalty, and then he gets back up and then goes the other way. Yeah, I know whoever took the penalty, I don't know, might have been Thuram or something, could have done a little bit better. But bro, David Raya is proven to be one of the best keepers in Europe, and I think he deserves to be the second best keeper. But he doesn't deserve to be the first. Why? That's because of a man called Gianluigi Donnarumma. Now, Gianluigi Donnarumma is a man who I do not understand why any club would ever want to sell him. If you've got him on your books, bro, give him whatever money he wants. He's just won you the Champions League, bro. You need to keep this guy. And I'm not even going to go through his stats, his clean sheets and this and that. We know he is the best keeper in Europe. We know he's going to win this trophy. He won the Champions League. But bro, look at the performances he had. It's not like like we know in the final, he didn't have much of a job to do. He probably had to save, 1 or 2 shots. But bro, in build-up, the semi-final against Arsenal, that performance, I think at the Emirates it was, or it might have been at Parc de France. Some of the saves he was making against Odegaard, against Saka, he won them that game. Against Liverpool in the penalty shootout, popping up in big moments like that. And then obviously we cannot ignore the long-term effect that had. They won the trophy. And in the league as well, and the cup, they won everything. And a lot of that is down to Donnarumma. So Donnarumma for me is the winner of the Yashin Trophy. Every winner so far has been a PSG player or PSG affiliated or PSG themselves. So let's see if that continues to the Kopa Trophy. Now my top 3 for the Kopa Trophy. My third place is going to be another PSG player. It's going to be João Neves. Now João Neves, honestly, what a brilliant little player. They signed him, 3 seasons ago? He wasn't looking the most matured. He wasn't looking as well done. He looked a bit raw. He looked a little bit uncertain at times, a bit inconsistent. But bro, this season he's turned world class. Honestly, he can do a job at the back, or not. Well, not at the back. He can do a job defensively. He helps out with the attack. He had 8 league assists last season. This guy is a sensation, and we're seeing it this season as well, where he scored 2 bicycle kicks in one game. He might have even scored a hat-trick in that game. Bro, he was doing the madness. João Neves, honestly, one of the most exciting talents now in Europe, and he is definitely up there on the Kopa Trophy for me. Definitely a case for top 3, and in my opinion, he sneaks in. Now at number 2, we've got another PSG player, Desiré Doué. Desiré Doué honestly can get here alone for just a Champions League final performance. 2 goals, and honestly, I think if Luis Enrique had kept him on, it would have been a hat-trick, which would have made history. Desiré Doué, honestly, came out of nowhere, and around mid of the season just started completely transforming fan view around PSG. I honestly think we started to take PSG seriously again because of guys like Desiré Doué. We were thinking, wow, they've just brought this guy out of nowhere, and he's just putting in world-class performances on the biggest stages time after time. They might be serious again. They might not be having to rely on the egos, the big names anymore. They might have actually found the diamond in the rough that they needed. And I mean, it was just that. 6 goals, 6 assists in the league, the Champions League final performance. I don't need to go in any longer. Desiré Doué deserves to be top 2. But he doesn't deserve to be top 1 because that is going to go to Lamine Yamal. Now, spoiler alert again, Lamine Yamal will be in my top 10 for Ballon d'Or. So I'm not going to just completely list off everything that I'm going to say later. But guys, this guy has been absolutely ridiculous. Now, like I said, I'm going to save everything for later. So we're going to move on now. But Lamine Yamal, bro, if you don't have him as your best youngster or the winner for the Kopa Trophy or anything like that, if you don't have him as one of the best in the world, full stop, you need to check what you're watching. This guy is quickly becoming one of the scariest, one of the most consistent, one of the most confident, one of the most dangerous players in the entire world. And he's just, 18, bro? He's literally my age. So, honestly, if he doesn't win it, it'll be a farce. He is going to win it. And did he even win it last year? I don't even know who won it last year, but it might have been him again. He has recoded, reconfigured my thinking on what is possible now for a footballer. Now we've got guys like Max Dallman coming into the Arsenal team at 15. We had Noneri as well. Lewis Skelly. I'm genuinely thinking now, bro, we could get to a point where we have 15, 16-year-olds becoming instant world-class players at their club, instant game changers. Because he's done it. He's proven that it's possible. And now with advancing technology, and we know diets, and we have personal trainers, and we've got all of the best coaches, and we're at a time where football is so accessible for the youth. I am so convinced we are going to be getting more Lamine Yamals in the future. But he has paved the way to a future generation of young talent, I'm telling you. And we're going to be looking back at how this guy pioneered the game pretty much for what is possible at such a young age. But anyways, let's move on to the men's Ballon d'Or. What you're all here for, what I'm here for, it's the top 10. Now, if you don't know, the consideration for Ballon d'Or, it takes into consideration fixtures and performances from, I think it's the 31st of July of 2025, so after the Club World Cup ended, to the 1st of August of 2024. So it doesn't count the Euros of last year, but it counts the whole of last season, and it counts the Club World Cup and the Nations League. So let me just quickly give off some honourable mentions, because there are going to be some names that do not make it, that a lot of you will feel like they deserve to make it. João Neves is not going to make it for me. Nuno Mendes is not going to make it for me. Doué and Donnarumma are not going to make it for me. Those 4 PSG players, honestly, it's very harsh, but they don't make it for me. I've already spoken about João Neves. Nuno Mendes has honestly just had a complete reconstruction of his career. So good to see. Going forward, he's become so dangerous as well. Was very good for Portugal in the Nations League, semi-final and final. Scored a goal in what was it, the final? Bro, no, the guy is an absolute talent and genuinely becoming... Nah, bro, he might just be the best left-back in the world. I'm not lying. He played a huge role in the Luis Enrique quadruple winning team. He doesn't make it for me. Doué, I've already spoken about, doesn't quite make it for me. Needs to maybe have just one full season of consistency, of popping up in big moments, goals, assists, everything, to really integrate him into the top 10 of the world. And a big World Cup performance next year could really well do that for him. Donnarumma, I've already spoken about. Honestly, I didn't put him in. I just think, look, PSG sold him. If he's really the top 10 best players in the world, you would keep him. That's a bit of a lazy excuse, but honestly, for a goalkeeper, I just feel like it's just harder. It's like a glass ceiling. If you're a goalkeeper, there's a glass ceiling. It's tough to get in with the outfield players. And that's why we never really see goalkeepers in the top 10. And finally, my two last honourable mentions are going to go to two Englishmen, Cole Palmer and Rice. Cole Palmer, obviously, for me, would definitely have made it if he didn't have that blip in the middle of the season, where he went missing in a lot of games when we needed him and we were losing results as a result. But he made up for it a lot with the start to the season and the end to the season. Obviously, he was scoring 4 goals in the first half against Brighton at the start of the season. He was getting hat-trick of assists against Wolves. He was getting a brace against Tottenham. Bro, he was absolutely on fire, looking like the best he's ever looked like. His link up with Jackson as well. And then obviously, towards the end of the season, he was getting back in the goals. And then that Conference League final performance, when we were losing 1-0 in the 60th minute, 2 assists in quick succession from absolute moments of nothing, of just magic, pure magic from Cole Palmer, winning us that game. And then the Club World Cup final, scoring a brace, getting an assist, beating the best team in the world. Just an unforgettable night. And it was all thanks to Cole Palmer. So Cole Palmer deserves this credit for me. And then Declan Rice, just probably his best season of his career, let's be honest. I mean, the goals against Real Madrid, the 2 free kicks, honestly, one of the craziest nights for me as a neutral watching that game. I could not believe what I was watching. Both of those world-class, top-quality free kicks. Bro, each of them has a case of being better than the other, and each of them has a case of being some of the best free kicks of all time, bro. I don't care. The way he hits them, the way he puts accuracy and power, and to get past Courtois both times, it's not an easy task. So Rice has to get mentioned as well, also a crucial player in Arsenal's system, and probably would be in the top 10 if Arsenal had won the league, had won the Champions League, or maybe even won a few cups. I just think that is genuinely the difference for me with Arsenal this season. But anyways, let's get straight into my top 10. Number 10, we've got Vitinha. I've already mentioned him a little bit earlier, but he was the glue. You had João Neves, you had Fabian, but Vitinha was the glue. He would just glide through games. In the Champions League final, he would just pick up the ball. The role he had to play for Doué's second goal, bro. I mean, the guy is just unbelievable, and it's crazy to think that this guy was literally just at Wolves a few years ago, and he was a Wolves reject. He was crucial in their UCL run, crucial in that Enrique system. He's the perfect player for that team. And he is the 10th best player in the world in the last year for me. To put the cherry on top of this season, wins the Nations League. He won 5 trophies, guys, and it could have been 6. Insane. Insane, guys. Insane. Vitinha, the glue of the best team in the world. That warrants a place. If that doesn't warrant a place in the top 10 for you lot, I don't know what will. Anyways, let's go to number 9, which is Harry Kane. I think this is the only Englishman in my top 10. Now, Harry Kane had a lower scoring season than he did in his first Bayern season. He scored 26 goals in the league, 8 assists, 11 goals in the Champions League though. And yeah, Bayern were kind of underwhelming in the Champions League. I think, honestly, Harry Kane was just genuinely the star of that team. And obviously, not doing as well as he would have liked in the Champions League does hurt him. They were knocked out by Inter Milan, I think, in the quarterfinals. Or maybe even the round of 16. I forgot where they got to. But it really wasn't a perfect season for Bayern. But for Harry Kane in particular, it was close to that. He won the Bundesliga, finally ending his drought. He finally did it, guys. He finally won a trophy. And I think, honestly, bro, we have to put him in there just for that. Just for finally winning a trophy. He didn't win it in his first year. He finally won it now. The Bundesliga title is his, and it's well deserved. And he is also, for me, the 9th best player in the world. Now, in number 8, we've got Pedri. A lot of you will feel like I'm being harsh, only putting him at 8. But I honestly think the people above him have just had such good seasons. It's no disrespect to Pedri. Honestly, this guy's one of the most elegant players I've ever watched. And we saw him in his most complete form, most matured form, most sophisticated form in the last season. And that Barcelona reaped the benefits of that. They won the league, they won the Super Cup, they won the Cup, they got to the semi-final of the Champions League. And a lot of that was because of Pedri. Running the midfield, up, down, passing, shooting, goals, assists. But it's not even about that with Pedri. With Pedri, it's just the composure he brings, the calmness he brings to the pitch. When you might be having a frantic last 20 minutes, you might be chasing a goal, chasing an equaliser, a winner. Pedri's the type of guy who can just relax the game for you. You can give the ball to you. You can put trust in. He's not going to lose it. And he won't just calm the game down by sitting on it and not advancing. He'll get past a man. He'll get past two man. He'll make a defense splitting pass. He'll make a diagonal pass to space. This guy has incredible football IQ. And honestly, if Barcelona had gone to the Champions League final and won it, Pedri could be way higher up here, because his achievements in the league and domestically have been brilliant. And honestly, like I said, Pedri for me is probably right now the best centre mid. And I'm just looking at my list here. He is, for me, the best centre mid in the world. I've come above Vitinha, and there's no other centre mid left in this list. And honestly, looking back on it, I'm happy that that's the case, because I do genuinely believe he's the best midfielder in the world. Let's move on to his teammate in number 7, though, Robert Lewandowski. Now, Lewandowski, for me, had just such a relief of a season, I guess you could say. I mean, Barcelona fans were starting to doubt him after the season prior, in 23-24. I think he only scored 19 league goals, which is still pretty good, but obviously he was 35, 36, getting older, getting slower, getting weaker, getting less effective in front of goal, and in these big games. And Barcelona fans were crying out for a new striker in summer. They didn't get it. But they didn't need it, because Robert Lewandowski had one of the best resurgences of anyone I've ever seen at such an age. 37 now he is. It's insane, the longevity of this guy. He scored over 40 goals in all competitions. He scored 27 in the league and 11 in the Champions League. It's insane, bro. And again, he won all the trophies that I mentioned with Pedri, playing a big role in them. This guy, goals in the Clasico as well. Big game performances, bro. Lewandowski, man, he is still one of the world's best. Just full stop. Strikers, let alone strikers, bro. He is one of the world's best. And for me, he wants a place in the top 7, and he could have even been higher if Barca had gone on to win the Champions League. We can obviously do all the ifs and buts and whataboutism, but no. With what we've got, for me, he is the 7th best. Getting closer to the top 5 now. Number 6 is our second PSG player of the top 10 so far. It's Hakimi. I already spoke on Hakimi a little bit when I was talking about PSG and his role. But bro, he's the captain of the best team in the world. He is the general. He is the heartbeat. And although he plays at right back, it sort of feels like he plays everywhere. His presence is felt at the front. His presence is felt at the back, in the midfield, in goal, on the bench, in the stands. Bro, it's all Hakimi. It's Hakimi's club. The guy honestly bleeds PSG, bro. He just does. And I mean, we could focus on his moments. But I mean, I think the one moment we've got to talk about is his goal in the Champions League final. The first goal of the final, setting the tone for what went on to be one of the biggest demolitions, one of the biggest embarrassments in the final of the European Cup we've ever seen. He set the tone for that. And I think that is just such a perfect testament to who the guy is as a player, who the guy is as a leader. And Hakimi, for me, yeah, he's a defender, but bro, 4 goals, 6 assists in the league, 4 goals, 5 assists in the Champions League. This guy is not just your traditional classic defender who's going to put in last-ditch tackles and who's going to, put his body on the line for the team. Yes, he does that as well. But he's also one of the fastest players in the world. He's also one of the best crossers of a ball in the world. And he's also, for a fullback, not a bad shooter. And he has just insane tactical IQ, football IQ. I honestly could go on. I've got so many good things to say about this player, but we've got to move on. Hakimi's in number 6. Number 5, we've got Lamine Yamal. It was coming. And honestly, a lot of you lot can have him higher. And I do see it. I honestly do see it. Obviously, we can say all the trophies we've just said for Lewandowski and Pedri. But look at the role he had, bro. I mean, in the Super Cup final, he bagged. In El Clasico in the league, he scored a brace in one of the games. I think I was at the Bernabeu as well. It was at the Bernabeu where he scored. In the Nations League against France in the semi-final, scored. Like, are we noticing a pattern here? This guy absolutely cooked Kylian Mbappe this season. And although Kylian Mbappe is going to be above him in this list, if we're talking about 1v1, Lamine Yamal, the 18-year-old, got the better of 26-year-old Kylian Mbappe, who was supposed to have the best season of his career, who was supposed to win the league, who was supposed to win the Champions League. As the bare minimum, Lamine Yamal stopped him from doing at least the league title and the cup and the Super Cup. And not only did he stop him, bro, he embarrassed him in every single time they met. Every single time they met. This guy is no longer supposed to be in conversations for the Kopa Trophy. That is not even like a conversation worth having. This guy should be getting put in conversations with Mbappe, with Rafinha, with Dembele. What are we doing if he's not there? This guy is honestly a problem. He is a problem. 13 goals in the league. 9 goals in the league, 13 assists. Insane, bro. Insane. And if we consider the Euros, which obviously isn't considered, he'd probably be 1, bro. I'm not going to lie to you. He could actually be 1. Insane, bro. What a player. And honestly, I see him winning it next year. He's already started the season off well. But we'll see about that. Number four is Mohamed Salah. Mohamed Salah, the only Premier League player in the top 10, which is kind of crazy to be fair. But I mean, this whole list is dominated by Barca and PSG. But Mohamed Salah has to be in here. And honestly, at one point, we were thinking he was going to win it. I mean, he had an absolutely historic season in terms of numbers. Absolutely historic, bro. 29 goals, 18 assists, joining a club of, I think, just Thierry Henry, Eric Cantona, and Eden Hazard, becoming the 4th player to ever score over 15 goals and get also 15 assists in one Premier League season. And bro, he got 29 goals and 18 assists, winning then the Premier League title, winning his 2nd Premier League title. Honestly, that campaign alone is worth top 5 in the Ballon d'Or. What doesn't get him higher up is the shortcomings in the Champions League. His poor performance against PSG. His poor performances against PSG. Only getting, I think 3 Champions League goals last season in 9 games. And we know Salah, like, full credit to him, he's an incredible player, but we know he is, a lot of his game is around his goal contributions. If he doesn't get you a goal contribution, a lot of the time he's not contributing as much. And look, when he is contributing like he was in the league, he's one of the best players in the world, if not the best. But when he's not, bro, Liverpool suffer. And they suffered. Carabao Cup final, where he had about, 15 attempted dribble, or 15... Bro, it was something to do with 15. He had, it might have been 15 touches. I can't lie, he had an absolute stinker of a cup final. He couldn't get any dribbles in. He was failing with 1v1s. He wasn't getting into space. And that cost them the final. But that also does prove how much Liverpool rely on a guy like Mo Salah, or how much they relied on him last season. And that's why he's in 4th for me, because they still won the league. And in Arne Slot's first season, to win the league, it's a big achievement. And Mohamed Salah was by far their best player, and by far the best player in the Premier League. So Mohamed Salah is in number 4. Ridiculous season. Don't let any of... Look, I know I've just said negatives for him, which I didn't say for all these other players. And that might seem harsh. But honestly, let it be more of a praise. Because I'm genuinely saying, if he had just had a better Carabao Cup final performance, if he had just pushed Liverpool past that PSG tie and got them potentially to win the Champions League, or even just the final, we'd be talking about a Ballon d'Or winner. I'm not joking. We'd be talking about a Ballon d'Or winner. So put no disrespect on Mohamed Salah's season last year. It was a world-class season, and for me, probably up there with his best season of all time, maybe even his best. Let's move on to the top 3. Now, let's be honest, we all know who's going to be in the top 3. I'm going to go with my 3rd player first, and that's Mbappe. Mbappe was bound to come up at some point. He was bound to be in the top 5. It was just about where I put him. And yes, look, team-wise, it was poor. We know it's poor. He came in with absolutely monumental expectations. I honestly and genuinely, they weren't like fake expectations where we were just like putting pressure and saying, oh, it's going to be an absolute failure if you don't win this and you don't win that and you don't score this amount of goals. It was genuinely because we actually believed it. I genuinely believed wholeheartedly, hand on heart, everything. On everything. I believed this Real Madrid team would sweep the league, would sweep the Champions League. Can you blame me? They also signed Endrick. They had Arda Güler. They have Camavinga. Courtois was back. Vinicius, who had just come off the back of a Ballon d'Or worthy season. Now, we can't really blame him for Vinicius not having the best season, or can we? Because Mbappe coming in did weaken Real Madrid's attack. Ancelotti didn't know how to deal with Rodrigo, Bellingham, Mbappe, Vinny, guys who were all sort of left-sided of the pitch minded and who all want to be the star guy, the star man. Now, Mbappe did end up scoring 31 league goals and he was by far their best player last season. But bro, he needs to step up this season. And he does look like he's going to do it. But obviously, we can't take that into consideration. Purely last season, I think he did enough to be third. He started off pretty poorly, missing some penalties, ghosting in some games. But the second half of the season, he grew into it very well. Started having some better performances in El Clasico. Also scored on his debut in the UEFA Super Cup, winning that. I think that is taken into consideration for this Ballon d'Or. It was a very good season from Mbappe on personal terms. A bit like Harry Kane, I guess you could say. As a team, Real Madrid really did not have the best season. But Mbappe himself was Mbappe. It was just Mbappe. And I think this season, if he has a repeat of last season, even better maybe, and starts winning a few trophies, the league, the Champions League, that would be number one worthy for me. Now we've come up to the moment of truth, the top two. It's between Rafinha, it's between Dembele. Barcelona, PSG. This is the biggest debate of them all. Now, whoever I'm going to go with here is going to disappoint people naturally, and it's also going to make other people happy, and whatever. We know that. I signed up for that. I'm going to tell you my number one. My 2025 Ballon d'Or winner is going to go to Ousmane Dembele. Now, let me talk about Rafinha first. Rafinha, honestly, shocked me. We can look back at last summer when Barcelona were fighting for Nico Williams, it seemed like for the whole window, because they didn't want Rafinha for another season. Barca fans were praying for Nico Williams to join because they didn't want to deal with Rafinha for another season. Rafinha said, "You lot disrespecting me? Alright, watch." And he actually acted on his words, unlike Vinicius. I don't want to just bring him up, but it was kind of like that situation. He had a lot to prove, and he did more than just prove it. He became Barca's best player of last season, 18 goals, 9 assists in the league from winger. 13 goals, 8 assists in the Champions League. Winning the golden boot of the Champions League. And they got knocked out in the semis. He didn't even get to play the final. But he scored in the semis, scored in the quarters. The guy was genuinely, every single time you saw Barcelona win a big game, Rafinha, his name was on the score sheet. El Clasico in the Super Cup final, scored a brace. This guy, bro, has genuinely changed my perception on him completely. When he was one of those players at Leeds, I had him in sort of conversations with guys like Wilfried Zaha and players who play for lower league sides in the Prem. We all know this genre of players who play in lower league side and they're clearly the best player in that side. But you always wonder if they get a bigger move, can they really step it up, or is this their peak? But Rafinha clearly was just being held back. I'm not gonna lie. He has shocked me and shocked so many other people. And I genuinely could not believe what I was seeing this season. I was thinking, yeah, this is a purple patch. It's going to end this week. It's going to end next week. He's going to struggle against Real Madrid. He's not going to be able to take all these games in a row. He's not going to be able to take the pressure. But mate, he held up really well. Start of the season to end of the season. So full credit to Rafinha, bro, but he does miss out. And it's because Dembele had the season of his life. He will never have a season like this again. He will never have a season, and he doesn't have to. Just like Rafinha, even more shocking. He wasn't even that good in his first season at PSG. He was better than he was at Barca, I guess you could say. But bro, Luis Enrique has done absolute magic to Ousmane Dembele. Who would have thought the player that was costing Barcelona with Messi potential ticket to the Champions League final by missing a one-on-one against Alisson in the last minute of the game could play up top and win a Champions League for their team, starting as a striker, as a number 9. Honestly, you watch this guy and he's got new levels of confidence. He strikes the ball with vigour and with intent. The goal against Bayern Munich, bro, in the Club World Cup is the one I just remember off the top of my head. We all saw his pressing. We all know that meme of him waiting to press Inter Milan, just waiting for them to take the goal kick. He is hungry for the ball now. He wants it. He's confident. It's a new Dembele, bro. It's a new Dembele. 21 league goals, 8 assists, 8 goals, 6 assists in the Champions League. He is PSG's X factor. He is their star man, and he is the reason they won the Champions League, and he is the reason they won the quadruple, and he is the best player in the world. And honestly, it's crazy to say that Ousmane Dembele is going to win a Ballon d'Or. When I was thinking about this, I was thinking the one reason why I was maybe doubting why Ousmane Dembele, because I was trying to say to myself, okay, I've put Ousmane Dembele at first. What could possibly not put him at first for me? And I was thinking now, the only thing that was coming to my head is because it's Ousmane Dembele. It just doesn't feel right having Ousmane Dembele at first, because this is a guy who was getting memed like crazy. He was getting memed like Harry Maguire was. He was in them combos. Phil Jones, Jesse Lingard. I don't know why I'm just naming United players, but bro, you know what I mean. He was in these combos. And seeing him now as the best player in the world just didn't feel right. But then I was thinking to myself, that is not a reason. If this is the only reason coming to my head, what's the point in even doing the video? I might as well just do my top 10 players who feel most right to win the Ballon d'Or. No, bro. This guy is the worthy winner of the Ballon d'Or, and I think he'll win it tomorrow. And for good reason. But honestly, guys, if it goes to Rafinha, bro, honestly, it's been a great year for football. It could be Rafinha, and it's deserved. Like, honestly, margins is close, but I think it came down to whoever won the Champions League. And the fact that we didn't even get to see a showdown between Rafinha and Dembele in the final was a shame. But it has to go to Dembele for me. But yeah, oh my days, what a video. What a crazy, what a crazy video. Anyways, let me know what you lot think of all my rankings. Let me know who your Ballon d'Or winner is. Most importantly, I want to know. And yeah, like and subscribe. And thank you for watching. I'll see you in a bit.